Give him a good example of you being a dick. Ow! There's some misconceptions about my raven Sam. There are. It's just like people are saying the most ridiculous things like, oh, he's going to peck your eyes out and stuff like that. Why would he peck my eyes out? He would peck someone else's eyes out before he pecked out my eyes. Come on, man. I'm in the flock. I'm in the pack. However you want to describe it. I fed him when he was 3 weeks old. I fed him. He's like a baby. He was my baby. He's a family member. Something else. You can't let a crow like this just go. This is a domesticated animal. He can't survive in the wild. There's always been somebody taking care of him. Me. He would be lost. People ask, like, well, what if you take him outside? Where's he going to go? Sort of similar to, like, a pigeon in that he knows where he's going to get food, and he can't get food outside. Beaks and fingernails are made out of the same material, which is keratin. And keratin is not a live cell, so it's non-conductive. So, do I take him outside a lot? No, not anymore, because I've lost 2 crows to West Nile virus. He's fine inside. So I do take him outside, but not as much as I used to. I don't want him getting West Nile. West Nile, it originated in Africa, but it showed up in New York State first, and it's deadly to crows and ravens. So I don't want him going outside. He's not, he doesn't need to. He's fine in here. When I sleep, he is about, like, I'm thinking about, I slept on the couch last night. He's on the top of the couch. He could come down and fuck with me. He doesn't fuck with me because I'm sleeping. He knows if he's going to screw with me, he needs to screw with me when I'm awake, or else I'm going to be real irate if he wakes me up. Who would wake me up would be Remy, my pigeon. Remy will start grooming my hair and stuff in the morning. She's being sweet, but she's waking me up. Sam, when he was young, would fly down and he would pull my hair, trying to wake me up. But that's, he doesn't do that anymore. Does he screw with me? Oh, yeah, sure. Are you kidding me? Come on. He's a male raven, okay? He's a male. He's not fucking around. He wants to fuck around. That's the deal. They don't make good pets unless you're one, have a lot of animal experience. I deal with animals professionally. It's different than like somebody saying, "Oh, I want to get a raven." He just dropped meat on the ground. I want to get a raven. They don't have any bird experience. They don't know what to expect. If I had a child, he could be picking on the child and probably would. So think about it. You got a kid, you want to get a raven? That's foolish. Something else that I want to talk about real quick, and that's some of the comments. And okay, make your comments and everything. I'm just going to tell you the stupidest comments are about Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, kids, we all learned about Edgar Allan Poe in 2nd grade. Somebody said that I look like Edgar Allan Poe. Kid, have you ever seen Edgar Allan Poe? I look nothing like him. Like nothing. It's ridiculous. Oh, that's so Raven. Oh, that's so stupid that you can't think of anything more original than that. That's the truth. That's so stupid. Comment about hound or so? I don't know what the fuck that is. I think that must be some kind of video game. I don't know. I don't know what that is. By the way, that light switch, that doesn't work. He could be up close to it. It does not work. And something else about a raven. See his beak? Like, say he touched electrical with the beak. That would be like touching electrical with your fingernail or your hair. Now, Sam's beak here, it really is. It's made out of keratin, which is the same thing that our fingernails are made out of, and those are dead cells, like our hair. It's not the same thing as if like your skin touches something. Those are live cells. So keratin is not conductive. So your fingernail, if your fingernail touches something that's electrical, that's not a problem. If a hair touches something that is electrical, it's not going to be a problem. It's not going to transfer into you. But if your head, right, if your skin touches it, you're going to get zapped. See what I'm saying? It's, you know, that's like the same material for his beak that you have for your fingernail. All right? So it's not gonna electrocute him, but that is totally out. In case anybody was look at it, it's from like 1930. I gotta cover this up. I'm working on this room. Sam's down here a lot. Sometimes Sam goes upstairs. He likes a room upstairs. He likes a room upstairs. We refer to it as his room. But he will try and take over any room if he can. He doesn't care. He's a male dominant raven. Okay? And most male corvids, they're going to be sort of dominant. I see the females as a little bit more submissive, but you know, it's a bird. I'm just saying it is a bird, so know what you're getting into. I mean, there are so many birds that are just in cages their whole entire life. So many. It's not right. It's not right. And they're in cages because people get the bird. They don't know what to expect. Either the bird tears up their house, or they get bit and they don't like getting bit. Not that I like getting bit, but you get a bird, you're dealing with a dinosaur, okay? Are you ready to deal with the dinosaur? People aren't prepared to deal with a canine. Why do you think somebody would be prepared to deal with a dinosaur? Yes, he's warm-blooded. Yes, it's a warm-blooded animal. But it's not a mammal. Okay, so if you've had a dog, that doesn't mean that you're going to be able to deal with a bird. Right, Sam? He's not poking out my eyes. He's a dick, but he's not a total asshole. There, see? Thank you, Sam. Give him a... There, he bit me. Did you see that? Did you see the way he took... He didn't have just my shirt. He had my skin, and he was taking it, pinching it, and trying to rip it. Is that really, you can deal with that? You can deal with that. Do you have a kid? Ow. Now you're being naughty. Naughty, Sam. Sam's naughty. You're a naughty bird. He is. He's naughty. He's being naughty. He's sick of me sitting in this chair. And that's something else I want to talk about. People say, does he like to be petted? Oh, little Johnny or Sally? Is that what you think owning a pet, having a pet is about? Is that what you think having a pet is about, petting it? The analogy is this: if you have a wife or a husband and they're always, or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and they're always touching you, is that something that you're into? Because I need some space. And many people can't read an animal so that they can't figure out that maybe I shouldn't be trying to pet him right now. It's all about the human is the point. Sam, it's all about the human. That's the point. If it doesn't go right, then all of a sudden the animal is labeled as stupid. And it's ridiculous. You have unrealistic expectations, okay? And if your wife or husband won't leave you alone, if they're always like touching you, do they always have to touch you? Then get rid of them, because that's not really how me and Sam exist. I don't sit around and pet Sam. We might be watching TV together. I might be eating and he would be eating along with me. He eats a lot of my food. We'd just hanging out. Like last night, I slept. Sam was 2 feet from me, and we just slept. I didn't need to be touching him. It's not Remy, where she has to have this like lovey-dovey affection from me. He's not like that. He likes to be around me. Okay? Can I touch him? Yeah, I can touch him, but I don't sit around petting him. He's male. Okay? I'm male. Remy thinks I'm her husband. She's a pigeon. Do you see the difference? We have a relationship, but it's not like Remy who's insistent that she grooms me and I groom her back. All right? I hope that makes sense. Thank God Sam doesn't think I'm his husband. Would be like Mayor Pete. Remy's great. She's just confused. A lot of times birds will get like that if you feed them when they're real young. So know that. One, if you feed them when they're real young, they'll bond to you. But sometimes they do get confused and they might see you as a mate. And that's how Remy is. You know, Remy wants more affection than Sam. I mean, definitely. But Sam's not as confused, you know. He's not. See, Sam's not being a dick to Remy. It's very close. Could reach out and get her. They're family members, okay? But Remy's just flat out confused. Sam's beak and your fingernail are made out of the same material, which is keratin, okay? It's the same thing, pretty much. Liz, he's got a beak and you have a fingernail. The point being, everything on this planet is related by common ancestry. We're all related. I'm related to Sam. I've raised him since he's 3 weeks old. He's not going to poke my eyes out. We're related. And when you see people putting out these videos with their raccoon or their crow that they saved, know that they didn't do anything right, that they should have called an animal rehabilitator and that bird could be living in the wild. That is not a domestic animal that you find on the ground. That is a bird that's, you know, clearly covered under the Migratory Bird Act. And whatever the thing is in Canada, that's the same thing. You cannot keep, that's the whole thing. Even if they were like, we didn't know that, okay, which I think is just absurd. How many crows and ravens that are American are sold in pet stores? Do you see blue jays sold in pet stores? No, you don't. So I find it hard to believe that anybody, you know, that has done this several times wouldn't know that they really can't keep a North American species if they're living in North America. You can't do that. Most countries, it's the same thing. You cannot do that. And for the kids that want to ask, like, well, you have Sam the Raven, so it's okay for them to go take animals from another country. Sam the Raven is from zoo stock that was taken over 100 years ago. So what you're trying to say just isn't true. And he's a banded bird from bird stock or from zoo stock. So the notion that most pet birds, this is true, that you buy in a pet store, they're not smuggled in. They're bred. They're bred in captivity. So you know, these countries that have like cockatoos, you're not depleting the cockatoo population. They're all bred in the United States at this point. Keeping an animal like this and the authorities find out in either Canada or the United States, it does not matter. They will come take the bird away, okay? Same thing goes for a deer. You leave, it's springtime. If you see a baby deer and it's alone, that's what the mother deer do. They go off and feed. They leave the baby deer. Get fucking away. The baby deer is not abandoned, okay? If you see somebody on YouTube that has a pet crow or raven and they found it on the ground, know that these are not nice people, that they're doing the wrong thing, You can't take wildlife and turn it into a pet. A crow, a raven. There's something in the United States called the Migratory Bird Act, and the same thing exists in Canada. You cannot keep wild animals, wild birds like this, unless it's an invasive species, okay? And a crow and a raven is not. They're protected under the Migratory Bird Act. And it's just the sign of somebody that like wants to put out videos under the guise of like, oh, I saved this animal or something.